Welcome into Four Downs. This is Erik McKinney, joined by Greg Katz. And Greg, we've got USC hosting Nevada this weekend. USC 1-0, still ranked number 6 in the country against a Nevada team that has not played this year, but is on a 10-game losing streak going back to last year. I think in terms of wins or losses this weekend, we're both on the same page there. So let's break it down, our four downs. And that first down, we're going to get into the one main piece that you're looking for when USC has the ball, when USC is on offense.
All right, for me, I'm looking at execution. How do they execute? Especially that offensive line, if we're going to go get specific. I want to see holes opening up, Caleb getting protected. That's what I'm looking for. I don't care if they're playing the Little League team. They've got to execute that way.
Will be really interesting, that offensive line, what the rotations look like, who starts, still kind of 3 spots, maybe 2.5 spots up for grab, those 2 interior guard spots. For me, it's one guy, and it's Zachariah Branch. I want to see him again. It's fun, right? This is the time of year where it's fun, and you should be able to just pile points up and kind of do whatever you want offensively. I'm with you that it's the offensive line. You've got to figure that out. And in terms of big picture stuff down the road into those final 6 games of the year, you better be buttoned up there. When you're talking about a game against Nevada where you think you can sort of roll out of bed and put up 42 points into the 50s, maybe into the 60s, I want to see those one-man highlight reel plays. And I think Zachariah Branch has a few more in him based on kind of the taste that we got in game 1. And it's crazy to think that if he does nothing, USC's offense could still absolutely roll. If he's just a decoy in this one, you can still put up points all over the place. But I think what he can do, we've already seen, is pretty special. And I'm very curious how he gets used throughout the year. And this one especially, and kind of interesting. Again, we're already we're early in the year, but it's not Caleb Williams every year. Had we been doing, or every week, had we been doing this last year, I think Caleb Williams gets mentioned a whole lot more as we're doing it now. It's just 4 touchdowns, almost 300 passing yards is routine for him. With oh, by the way, a big time highlight reel play where he picks up a fumble and throws it 50 some odd yards downfield. Second down here. We're going to flip sides of the ball. We're going to go to defense, and your big picture number one thing that you are looking for when USC is on defense.
Well, it's probably going to be a poor evaluation either way, but I'm looking how they front 6. In other words, down 4 and the 2 inside linebackers. I know they go with 5 defensive backs generally, but I want to see if they can actually, if they can't control the Wolfpack of Nevada, we all better strap into the seatbelts, because there's going to be a long season at some point. So I want to see, what I really want to see is, are they going to make any changes? I'm specifically looking at inside linebacker, Tackett Curtis. I don't know how healthy Eric Gentry really is, but I don't know if it was a slip of the tongue this week when Lincoln Riley said Eric Gentry is looking better. And I know when he's in there, whether he's this, that, but then he threw the word starter in there, and my antenna went up. Now, do I expect that he's going to actually start him? No, but I don't think I'm going to be shocked if he does. So I want to see Tackett or Gentry is going to, which one's going to be taking the field first. I don't know if it's a big deal at this point, but I think it's a big deal for Eric Gentry because he does make a difference.
Yeah, I think what he said there is he's playing at the kind of level that puts him in that discussion for more reps, for potential starter spot, for all of that kind of stuff, which he was a starter last year. I don't think it's going to be surprising to anybody if he eventually starts some games this year, but he had a huge impact. You're right, in week 1 when he did come out on the field, and the coaches and Gentry too have talked about kind of coming back. He missed all spring while recovering from an injury, missed some of fall that Lincoln Riley talked about there. So yeah, what he ends up looking like for me, and I don't want to give away, because I know we've got 2 more downs, and I'm going to get into it later too, but I'm also looking at kind of havoc plays. And I know that's what's interesting, is that the USC defense, to shore itself up, needs to be more fundamental and just make the routine play, be in the right spot, make the routine play. make the tackle at the line of scrimmage, don't get out of position, all of that. But with this defense, if it's going to be aggressive as it is, you need to create turnovers. You need to create tackles for loss. You need to have sacks. 1 sack against San Jose State, 7 tackles for loss, which is fine, but not great when you're really pushing that. And then no turnovers forced. And you did force a fumble and almost force another one, but 1 sack, no turnovers forced for a defense that comes into games saying, we're going to do both of those things. That's not good enough. So for me, I'm looking at that. If that's what you're going to hang your hat on as a defense, can you do that? And like you said, can you do that against an offense like we expect from Nevada with some new players and some growing pains and all of that? This is a Nevada offensive line that is not experienced in the way San Jose State's was. They lost their 2 best players to the transfer portal over the offseason, does not have a ton of starts across the board. This is one where absolutely that front 6 of USC should be able to control this one. I think we both expect.
And, Erik, let me just add one quick point. I'm looking to make sure the quarterback doesn't get out of contain. When I talk about that front 6, they cannot allow the quarterback to be outside the pocket like what happened last week. And if it happens against Nevada, we need an investigation.
And Brendan Lewis can run a little bit. He's not a huge scrambler with a bunch of design runs. Probably USC's defense has seen him before, although that was under a different coaching staff. He started for Colorado in the 2021 season. So there's film. It shouldn't be a huge surprise. Nevada hasn't played a game this year, so there's that sort of what are they going to actually look like, but enough film on a lot of these guys to have a good idea of what you're getting there. We'll go to the 3rd down, and Greg, we're going to have some fun here. And again, this video is helped presented by our friends at PrizePicks. There isn't a better way to enjoy watching your favorite team than by playing daily fantasy with our friends at PrizePicks. You simply select 2 to 5 players, predict if they'll go more or less than their PrizePicks projection. You can win up to 10 times your money on any entry. And I didn't mention it last week, but for sure for USC fans, all first-time users that deposit and use the promo code SC will receive 100% instant deposit match up to $100. So Greg, we're going to get into our picks this year. Let's take a look at this week. I keep saying this year. We're going to take a look at what we have. Again, we've got the free space that they're gonna play, that Dak Prescott one, just 0.5 passing yards if he goes more or less than that. And I think what we found out last week is that we do need to pick from different teams. And so I think what we're going to do is maybe use that Dak here and get that free one so that we can stick on the USC ones. I'm gonna go more. I don't know if you're comfortable doing that, but
I gave it a lot of thought, Erik. I stayed up all night at the edge of my bed. I'm going to go with more.
But so let's get into what we want to talk about, right? Let's get into the college football stuff, and I think we're going to go find some Caleb Williams. Caleb Williams is always going to be here, and I think we're going to go. So that's rush receive. We're going to go. We're going to look for passing and rushing yards. So that's Caleb. Okay. So there's Caleb, shows up there, 319.5 passing yards, passing plus rushing. We're going to find if we can find some other ones with Caleb. Here's that 3.5. So I should mention last week, we went in on 3 picks. We were 1 Dorian Singer reception away from being right on all 3 of them. He finished with 4. The number from PrizePicks was 4.5, so he went under that. We needed 1 more catch from him, but
you let us down, buddy. Don't do that.
We did. I mean, still a good game. His first touchdown catch as a USC Trojan. So we've got Caleb Williams at the 3.5 again for total touchdowns. That's one I think. I mean, this is a guy who has been responsible for at least 4 touchdowns in a huge majority of the games he has played at USC. Do we like him to go 4 touchdowns, responsible for passing, rushing, or receiving? If he catches a touchdown, we get this too. I think I like more there.
Okay, I'll tell you what. I'm going to consult Caleb.
Here we go.
Caleb, what do you think? Are you going to be able to do that? Are you going to let us down like Dorian? You're not, but you do say that you will go a more then, right? Okay, so
Okay.
Tiny Caleb says, I'm going with you guys.
So
Don't let
the
us
other one
down.
I wanted to get into, because the rushing is interesting to me. Austin Jones had a really nice game in that first one. So we've got rushing touchdowns. He scored 2 in that first one. Do we think he gets one? Do we think he gets one in this game?
Yeah, he's going to get one because they got to keep him happy, and he's got to keep himself happy. It's going to happen.
So we've got Austin Jones as a goal line threat here to go in for a touchdown. We need him to go more
Absolutely.
than 0.5. So we need him to score a rushing touchdown. We need Caleb Williams to just be regular Caleb Williams and Dak Prescott to get off the bench. So we're gonna go with those again. You can run the power play where you have to hit 3 out of 3 and get 5 times your money, or you can go to the flex play and hit 2 out of 3. Let's do that. We did the power play last time. Let's go flex play this time, and that's going to give us 45 if we end up with that. So we're going to go with that one. And again, thanks to our we're doing it again. All right, we're finding out all kinds of stuff. Can't go more than 1 touchdown. So let's get rid of the Austin Jones touchdown and go find rush yards and see what we think about rushing yards in this one, because I think Austin Jones was in there too. So we've got Caleb Williams rushing yards at 23.5 and Austin Jones at 50. Do we think Austin Jones is going over 50 rushing yards?
I'm going to say no.
You think he's under 50 rushing yards?
I think he will because they'll rotate the backs.
More touches for Marshawn Lloyd.
Marshawn Lloyd's the one who could surpass, and of course, if the game gets really out of hand, who knows with the the freshman that might get in there, or even Barlow.
Okay.
Who knows?
I'm gonna stay with the flex play on that because I don't want to wish that on Austin Jones, right? I think that he had a 37-yard run last week, but I think you are right that Marshawn Lloyd got his feet wet a little bit, got some understanding of how to run in this offense. He could be a guy to watch. And again, Barlow and those freshmen in a game where you expect things to get out of hand. The early games seem to limit, you're not seeing 100-yard rushers, 100-yard receivers, anything like that from this offense. I do think probably a good play to spread that thing around. And so that's our entry. And again, thanks to our friend at PrizePicks. We're going to go into our 4th down now. Greg, that's your stat. Give me your statistic, your number that you have in mind as you go into this game that you're watching.
60. I'm going to look at the number 60 because the Trojans are capable of hanging 60 points on this Nevada team. And I don't want to listen. I don't want to say it, but there's other members of our staff that are salivating at the thought of 60 points, and I think it's not inconceivable. It depends on how bad it's going to get, because once Nevada is going to start doing substitutes, who knows when SC's second group goes against Nevada's second group? It could be ugly. I mean, it will be ugly.
So we ended up picking the same number last week, 5, for 2 different things. We're close this week, kind of. So you went with 60. I'm going with 6. I like to look at the end of games at it's categorized as big plays when you look at sort of the stat sheet, and that's 15-yard passes and 10-yard runs. USC gave up 12 of those to San Jose State. 12 combined 10+ yard runs or 15+ yard passes. So 6, I think chopping that in half from week 0 to week 1. I think that's a fair number to look at for this defense when you look at kind of who's out there and expectations. And again, I talked about earlier creating the havoc plays, but it's also how buttoned up are you just to not let things slip through, right? Alex Grinch made the comparison, football's like water. If you show a crack, that's where it's going to flow. That's where it's going to go through. So wow. San Jose State had a few runs that USC defensively busted. Obviously, the 3rd and 22 where the quarterback runs for a first down there. Those kind of plays, for me, that's what I'm looking at really heavily in terms of how much do those tally up over the course of a game. And I think, some people are going to want 0 of those, right? But you're going to have, they're going to get a 15-yard pass. There's going to be a 10-yard run. You're going to have that stuff. But can you limit those to where everything's kind of controllable and nothing's squirting loose for 50 plus yards, 60 plus yards against this team. I don't think USC needs to put its best defensive effort. If this is USC's best defensive effort of the season, you're going to have problems, I think, later on. But you do need to show some pretty significant improvement from, again, week 0 to week 1, or things are going to get noisy on the message boards and social media and all of that throughout the week. Again, a win's a win, especially early in the year. I do think Lincoln Riley's right when he says at the end of the year, nobody was going, oh, how did they look against Rice? What did they do in that first game? No, it's the big games that you're judged on. But all we have right now is we're collecting kind of data points are going to be these first 2 weeks. And I think the trajectory that you want to see week 0 to week 1 is very clear on that defensive side of the ball for me, certainly in the way of those big plays. So that's our look, our quick look ahead, our 4 downs look at USC hosting Nevada. USC going to get a home game this weekend and then a home game next weekend too, before an early bye. And then we get into Pac-12 play. So again, USC hosting Nevada, a 3:30 kick inside of what should be a pretty moderate temperature. This sounds like this weekend. Not going to get
79. They're talking 79 and cloudy.
Yeah, not going to get the hot Labor Day game. So should be nice. Hopefully USC fans can get out to that one and see their Trojans put up a second win on the early slate of the 2023 schedule. So thank you for watching. For Greg Katz, this is Erik McKinney. Thanks for watching 4 Downs. Thanks for watching WeAreSC. Enjoy that USC game on Saturday.